Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to take a look at the general energies that are going to be around in the month of August. Mercury retrograde thankfully is ending and we've got a new moon in Leo. So both good signs. We've just come out of a period where if you're anything like me, there's been delays. Things have just not been able to get that traction to move forward and at times it's been quite frustrating. There's also been a deeper level, which I've talked about in my previous individual and collective consciousness readings. There's also been a level of letting go and surrendering those old patterns which are no longer serving us. And in the process of doing that, sometimes we've got to let go of past relationships that are not affirming for us, that are actually not allowing us to stand in our own power. And that's what it's all about. It's about knowing who you are, remembering who you are, and standing strong and firm in strength, in your own strength. And so what better month for things to start to move forward again than Leo, the month of August. And of course the star sign of Leo is actually in the tarot, the lion. The strength card depicts the lion. So let's have a look. Are things going to start to move forward in August? Are we actually going to start making progress? These anchors that have been holding us back, are we able now to step forward within our own power and also start to move into a more creative phase? That's what I'm feeling quite strongly. I feel that we are going to begin to create what we want, and when we're in that creative mode, we're actually able to manifest. So without further ado, let's have a look at what the energies are going to be like in August for the individual, the collective consciousness, the energies. Okay, so I'm feeling straight away that the inertia is starting to lift. It's almost like we're starting to come out of darkness. We're starting to head toward that light here. And what is the light? I'm feeling the light is within our own being. So the discovery at the individual level is quite important for the collective because we're starting to see the shades of light and dark in us. And when we're able to realize that in ourselves, we're able to realize that in others. And when we realize that in others, then we're less likely to be confused. We're less likely to be in that dark, that grey fog. So we're coming out of that. There's just more light around and available for us as we move into August and Mercury starts to move forward again. So conditions, what's August going to be like? What are the main conditions for August for the individual and the collective consciousness? Okay, so straight away, the signifier card is restriction. So this is talking about the restriction that we have been under has been in a way through Mercury retrograde and really for the past 6 months of this year has actually been a self-imposed restriction. Sometimes we don't understand why we're doing things, but at another level we actually do know. And I feel that some of us have been holding back, some of us have been deliberately putting those boundaries around ourselves because we're actually examining not just the situations around us, but also the relationships around us. And who's bringing what to the table? What sort of energy are people bringing to the table? We're becoming more discerning. The challenge to this restriction, of course, is the need to create again. And this is why the Leo energy moving into August is so important. Magician is somebody who actualizes things into reality, who's able to take what we know in the subconscious and bring it forward to the consciousness. And we're talking about individual and collective consciousness here because it's almost one in the same. We are so connected, much more connected than what you realize. While I might be in one part of the world learning something, you may be in another learning something else. Inevitably, these lessons are universal. So we're going to be starting to manifest in August with this Leo energy here, and this is bringing forward our dreams, our goals into reality. Now, the foundation of the reading is the Hierophant. I feel that we will be bringing this extra light, this focus on the light, this focus on really discernment, being able to see things for what they really are. It's like the fog is starting to lift. We'll be bringing that energy to the table, to the systems that govern us with the Hierophant here. We'll be bringing that almost like a spiritual point of view forward. We're almost saying that it's not good enough, to I guess to be focused wholly and solely on the material. There has to be something more, and there is this growing momentum that I have been feeling now for the past 12 months to bring that something more to the table. And that's a strength, it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength that will guide us in our values and what we're making decisions at the moment. We are manifesting into reality the kind of values we want to take into the future at the collective level. And in the past, we've got the Six of Pentacles. It's interesting. This is traditionally a giving and a receiving help. It's almost as like the wildebeest is hidden from our view. We're not quite sure whether who we should be helping and why we should be helping them. And of course, this is around the illusion of money, the illusion that we have to have certain things to be happy. And so we put ourselves into debt. So there again is another enlightenment around money and around how we use money for happiness, and how we lean on money in so many ways. And we think that is going to solve our problems, and it's not. It's this spiritual realization that we're coming to, that there is more. And there's had to be a downfall, and we could still be in the throes of this Ten of Swords energy. This Ten of Swords energy is an interesting card. Traditionally, it's talking about things being at their lowest ebb. But it's also a 10, it's also a completion card. So if it comes forward, it's actually saying you've learnt the lessons, you're learning the lessons, and you're able, what's behind this card is the rays of the sun, it's the light. So in learning the lessons, you're able to bring more light forward and into your situations and into your relationships. So the Six of Swords, we are moving forward, we are moving on, and it is post lessons. It's because of the lessons that we've learned that we're able to move forward. And we will be acknowledging this in August. It will be becoming quite obvious to us that these lessons were lessons that we had to have, and that we're growing in strength because of it. The Ten of Cups, beautiful card. It talks about the strength of love, the strength of families, the strength of our most closest relationships. And this is a community card in this sense, in this reading. It's about moving back toward a greater community and away from this energy where it's a very material energy. And it just hasn't satisfied that spiritual yearning within us. And the hopes and the fears, the Two of Wands, we are, again, because we've got this Magician card, we are actually hoping for things to change here. This is a period of time that we have to wait. So August, while our most treasured dreams and goals may not be manifesting directly in August, we have the work that we've done up until now is starting to now pay off. So we should be seeing signs of that in August with this Four of Wands. It's almost like a reunion with ourselves, a reunion with family. And it is around using our intuition and using our inner knowing and understanding that The story is far from being told. There's so much more to be told, so much more that we don't know, so much more left for us to discover. So these energies are starting to come forward after the obstacles and challenges that have been in our path over the last 6 months. So, as I said, while August is not going to be we're not suddenly going to have everything we want in August. We are starting to see signs of progress. And one of the biggest signs that we'll be seeing is more harmony in our close relationships. Because we've left behind those relationships and energies that are no longer serving us, we're actually able to put our energy into those that are serving us, that are allowing, that are affirming, that are allowing us to stand in our own power. So it's all about the getting of wisdom. It has all been about the getting of wisdom. And now we're able to start to see what all our hard work in the past has been about. We've had to understand that we need to be this is the 10 of what's at the base of the reading, the 10 of Wands. This is carrying heavy loads, but it's paired with the Guardian energy. So the Guardian energy is an indication that we need to understand what we have to protect in ourselves. We need to bring forward this Guardian energy within us to prevent, to really prevent our own downfall. So I do feel that this month is a realization of where we've been, and it's also an acknowledgement of where we've got to get to. So as I said, it's not going to be, we're not going to suddenly get everything we want, but we're going to start to see real progress, especially in our most personal relationships, in our family relationships, again, after, and in our friendships. And it's because we have identified what has needed to change, and that's what we've been doing for the last 6 months, and we've just become more discerning. So 3 messages here, 3 final messages around the month of August from Spirit. What do we need to know? 3 messages for the energy, for the conditions we're likely to be facing. It's not, there is still a little bit of hard work that needs to be done, I'm feeling, but we're over the worst of it. This is a consolidation period where we're integrating what we've learned into new knowledge. But there'll still be time for us to enjoy the fruits of our labour, and those times will present themselves in our dearest and closest relationships. So 3 final messages from Spirit around the month of August. Okay, the King of Cups, yeah, we're moving into a far more nurturing energy, and August we will start to see the signs of that if we're able to follow that, if we're able to see that. If we look closely enough, we'll start to see this energy moving out of this darker energy, moving into the light. And this has been after a period of enforced stillness, of enforced lack of progress, but there's been a reason why we've needed to do that. We've needed to be able to learn to see in the dark in a way with this Hanged Man. We are hanging on by a thread, but in doing so we are being forced to see the light after a period of darkness. So there's infinitely going to be more light. We are reevaluating in terms of how we're going to be reaching our goals. So whether there's financial goals for you at the individual level, whether there is love in your love relationships, your career goals, we're actually reevaluating now. We were on this path, a very material path, and we were forced into a jolt to understand that there is so much more. It's like a reset. We've been having a reset, and it's been a necessary reset. And really what has what has caused this is we've been in a tower moment, either individually or collectively. We have been forced to look at things in another way, and this will bring forward lessons are positive, even though they can be painful. They're always positive because it brings forward greater stability and reliability, and also greater courage. So where we might have been silent in the past, because the collective was actually starting to change, we're actually going to step forward now and bring forward, we're actually going to speak our truth. And so we understand who's in power here. It's not the external, it is the internal, and the power, who holds the key to power. It does lie within ourselves. So lessons learned, wisdom gained, and we're consolidating and integrating in the month of August. Look for those signs of progress because they're actually going to be there. Where do you look to see them? Look into yourself, your relationship with yourself, how you're speaking your own truth, but also look into your most closest relationships, because I feel we're going to start to see them strengthen, and it's been entirely due to the work that we've done and the decisions we've made about what we want in our life and what we don't, and a recognition and a knowledge that has been hard earned. But it is time now to start to consolidate those lessons, and I feel that that's the progress we'll be making in August. It may not be hugely quick or mercurial. It will be slow, but we are moving, we are heading in the right direction. And if you can ask yourself on any day, how's your day been? If you can say we are heading in the right direction, then that's a real achievement. Okay, that's August for you, and the individual and collective energies for us in August. Thank you so much.